Okay, let's go. Tutorial number 18, transformations. So we're going to be looking at two different quadratic functions and comparing the second one to the first. So we're asked to write a complete sentence that describes all the transformations from the graph, if we were to graph the first equation, of the graph of function 1 to the graph of function 2. So what this means is we're going to look at function 2 and describe the changes that have occurred when comparing function 2 to function 1. Sounds confusing, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to do a quick sketch of both vertices. We're going to look at function 1 and we're going to make a little quick sketch. That plus 5 tells us that the vertex got moved to the left. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The minus 2 tells us that it got shifted down 2. And so this is function 1's vertex. So let's go ahead and shift colors, switch colors, and let's go ahead and graph where function 2's vertex would be. So this minus 8 tells me that we moved to the right 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this minus 9 tells me that we moved down 9. So let's put a few more on this y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And there we go. And so basically, this is function 2's vertex, and this is function 1's vertex. And it's asking us to compare, looking at function 2's vertex, what happened when compared to where function 1's vertex started out? Well, we see that we had a shift, right? We had a shift to the right. And how far did we shift? I'm going to use red for our horizontal shifting. So we went ahead and shifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Does that sound right? We were all the way over at -5. Now our new vertex is all the way over to +8. So 5 plus 8 is 13. So we know that we shifted 13 to the right. So that would describe one of the transformations. The second transformation that we made, let's do that in black, is we did a vertical shift, right? We were up here at -2, and we shifted down all the way to -9. So that means we dropped down 7, right? We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's where our vertex 2 is. So we shifted 13 to the right and down 7. And so our answer, if we're going to write a complete sentence, we would write function 2. For some reason, I'm not writing. All right, function 2 shifted 13 to the right and down 7. Oh, it's complete enough. We're good with that. All right, let's look at the second type of problem in this. We're given a quadratic equation, and we're asked to write an equation that's reflected, less steep, shifted 6 units to the left, and shifted down 7 units. So let's start with the reflected piece. So we know that both equations, the old and the new one we're about to write, will both have y equal. So the reflected part means I'm going to look at the sign that's right after the equal sign. And I see that we've got nothing there, right? It's just a 1/4, which tells us that it's really a positive 1/4. So if I want to write this new equation that's reflected, I'm going to make sure that I put a negative in front of there. It's got to have the opposite sign of the original equation. And so now let's move forward with the next part. I'll switch to blue. We want to make it less steep. So I'm looking at 1/4. And some of us think better in decimals. So if I consider that 1/4 is the same as 0.25, can I think of a number that's less than 0.25? Sure, right? We could think 0.2 or 0.1 or 0.0008. Lots and lots of different things that you can choose. Just make sure that you stay, a little bit above 0. We don't want to go into the negatives, well, because our negative is already there, right? That's already part of our reflection piece. All right, so we're going to do the 0.2, and we're done with the less steep. All right, the next part, we're shifted 6 units to the left. So first I'm going to notice that in the original equation, it's already shifted 10 to the right. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to do a quick little sketch. That minus 10 means our vertex is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 to the right, right? There's no up or down, so it's sitting right there. In our new quadratic equation, we want to shift it 6 units to the left. So we're just going to back it up, right? If we go 6 units to the left, where are we going to end up? You got it. We're going to end up at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gives us right here at 4. So if I know if my vertex is 4 to the right, I also know that I use that minus sign there. So x minus 4 indicates that our vertex has shifted 4 to the right. We're almost done. We want to now shift this original equation down 7 units. And so what we're going to do is we notice the original equation didn't have a vertical shift here. It didn't have a plus or minus at the very end. So that meant that, remember when we drew right here where the vertex was? It had been shifted to the right 10, but it was not shifted up or down. So now what we want to do is shift it down 7 units. And if we do that, right, we know that that means we're just putting a minus 7 at the end. So I know with practice this will become a little easier. I have a feeling with our marker board time with each other, you guys are going to get really good at this. All right, our last question. You're going to be shown 2 graphs, one where there's a quadratic already graphed, and then the second one's going to be blank, and you're going to be expected to do some things to the original graph, sketch it on graph B, and then write the equation of the new sketch that you just made. So let's see what they want us to do. So we see graph A, and they want us to shift graph A to the right 3 units. And when we talk and up 5 units, and we talk about shifting, we know that we're talking about the vertex, right? Where the vertex is the only one that can be shifted to the left or right or up or down. The rest of the graph, the steepness can be affected or the reflection, right? But the only one that gets shifted is the vertex. So what we want to do is take this old vertex, see the old vertex is right here down at 0, -3, and let's plant it on our new graph, 0, -3. And let's go ahead and shift it how they're asking us. They're saying take this old vertex and shift it to the right 3 units. So let's go ahead and shift it to the right 3 units. So let's see, there's my old vertex. I'm going to shift it to the right. 1, 2, I'm going to the left for some reason. All right, let's go ahead and shift it to the right. So let's shift it to the right. 1, 2, 3. So we're right here so far. And then it said to shift it up 5 units. I'll switch to, let's do red. Let's shift it up 5 units. And so we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there is our new vertex right there. All right. Did they say anything about changing the steepness of the graph? Nope. So that means that the pattern of graph A stays the same in graph B. So we look at the pattern, it's, let's see, over 2, up 1, 2. So let's do the same thing from our new vertex. We're going to go over 2, up 2, over 2, up 2. Is there another corner point we can do? We don't really, I think 3 points, that's enough for me. Let's go ahead and it's just a sketch. So there's our sketch, and then the harder part's going to be, let's go ahead and write down the equation of this new graph that we just sketched. So what changed? Did we change the pattern? Nope. So our y equals 1/2 is going to stay the same. So we're going to go ahead and write that. Okay, I'm not sure why it's doing that. All right, so y equals 1/2, but we do know that we had some shifting, right? So we've got our x. We're going to look at where our vertex is at. Oh, wow. Okay, so what we're going to do, something happened here where it got pulled down. All right, I'm going to pause and fix this and be right back. Okay, somehow the screen had messed up. So hopefully we're right back where we started from, where our pattern didn't change, so we wrote the y equals 1/2, but we did have a shift, right? We shifted 3 to the right, and so I'm going to write that as x minus 3, and we also shifted up But I'm not now comparing anything between graph B and graph A. I'm just looking at this. Let me switch colors. I'm looking at this vertex right here. And how do we describe the shift of this vertex from the parent function? 3 to the right and 2 up. So we're going to put that plus 2 here. And there you have it. All right. Once again, I really do feel like this is going to be best learned by doing, as most things are. Thank you for joining me.